Ronald, how are you doing? Well, here we are, we're racing in Germany again. How are things with you?
Things are good, I must say, beside of the weather we have now, obviously. But everything is going well. Yesterday practice was not too bad, and hope we can have some nice dry racing later on.
How's the season going for you overall at ETS?
Not as good as I was hoping for. I'm a little bit behind. I didn't have any podiums, so I have to step it up for all the rest of the series.
Yeah.
So I try to win here, but it won't be that easy, as always.
No, yes, it won't, because there's lots of fast races here, lots of possible competitors. How important is the ETS to you? Obviously, we've seen you racing in ETS for many, many years. I guess since the beginning, since 16 years, that long?
Actually not. My first full season was maybe season 3 or 4.
Right.
But it was growing up. It was starting to be really good already at season 2 or 3, and I really love it, I must admit. For me, it's the best to race for the whole season, with like having 6 races against or with high competition. Also to hang out with a lot of guys you know from the past, or you meet new people. This is amazing, and what I also like is the flexibility of the rules. Nothing against IFMA technically, but it's good that you can react and act according to the weather, according to what is common sense, rather than following old rule book which has way too many pages.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark says he'd never run here in the rain before, and he doesn't want to ever even try. How do you feel about racing in the rain? Is it good for you or bad?
I used to do a lot of races in the rain when I was young, and when we had to do the nationals. I think I won here in the rain at the nationals 2010.
Okay.
Where the track was flooded, so they had to change the layout. Nowadays it might make sense to do racing in the rain, but yeah, it's always a challenge, because anything can happen. And I mean, if you can prepare quite well with the wet protect and all the stuff, it should be fun. But at the same time, it's difficult with changing track conditions and so on. For finals, I think it's fun to watch. Maybe not to participate, but to watch. But for quali, I remember it is always tricky with changing track conditions, and you have the point system. I mean, I know people from the UK are used to it, which looks like fun if you watch some videos. But I think there's no option for them.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, it's rain or nothing in the UK. You've been racing, obviously, with Mark for years, but over the last few years we've had some younger drivers. I mean, Michael's not that young anymore, but you know, how do you? It's great to see new talent entering the sport. How do you kind of see the dominance of Michael and new drivers coming along? Is it a good thing, I guess?
Yeah, it's a great thing. I hope even more would come and challenge. And Michael really stepped up his game over the last few years. He's really focused, well prepared, and is really hard competitor. With I think the age of 22, compared to Mark and me with the later 30s. But it's amazing. It's always the best to drive against the best. You learn from it, and it's a great feeling if you can actually win and benefit. But also it's great to watch. I mean, especially for here with the current ETS tires, we go half a lap faster than ever, and this is difficult with the tires actually. But it's a nice challenge that you can try to maximize everything, and therefore really appreciate that we can have a competition like this. Not only once a year, but multiple times a year, no matter if it's asphalt or carpet. Yeah, we've loved watching you and Mark race for years and years. How's that your relationship developed, and because I asked Mark about you as well, how's he developed as a racer? Has he kind of matured, or is he still is things are still as competitive as ever, or is it, I guess, your rivals, but it's nice to race together? It's for sure as competitive as ever. I think we get along better than when we were younger. Basically because we know each other better, so I think we know what we can expect from each other, and also we are now more wise and older technically. So it's great. I race him not only for 6 times a year, I race him more often, and that's great for sure.
Yeah. How are things with Mugen? Obviously, we know you very well from the Yokomo days, but Mugen seems to be really developing their program, and you've got Eric now, and you've kind of things seem to be progressing. Is it going well as a team?
Yeah, it's growing and going well. Especially with having Robert Peach.
Yeah.
Even before I joined, we were good friends, and to work with him is amazing. He has so much knowledge, and he's the designer of the Mugen car, and I think everybody can benefit from it. And we're competitive, and we have growing numbers, and I think it's all about tiny little things to step up for the competition, and also it's also great to see a lot of customers going well and happy with them, and that's amazing for sure. So I really enjoy my time with Mugen and with Robert, Eric, and all the others.
Yeah.
And that's great.
You and Eric were both very, very fast at the Euros. There were times where it seemed like, are you guys going to work together more, or are you going to just go all out and just see who can beat each other? How were the Euros for you? I guess that P2 spot kind of robbed you of what you would have liked.
Well, it was a difficult race for me. It didn't start that well. Also, I was down for Q1 and Q2. Wasn't really happy. We made some big changes from Q3 on. Also, with a different tire strategy of everybody, it was not that easy to judge and to be there at the right time, at the right moment. And almost I got the TQ, just missed it by 0.03. But overall, top 5 of us were basically on a very similar pace. This was a bit more unusual because the layout itself wasn't that difficult, but still, you're going at that speeds. It was the same tire as we have now, where you have to get it on the limit, and so it was a good and bad starting position too. And A1 I was quite close. A2, as I said about the tires, it's somehow didn't get it to manage to work immediately, which cost me a chance, but. At the same time, I was happy with ending up P2, because sometimes a P2 is like frustrating, and sometimes it's satisfying. And Bruno did well. He managed to get his car on first position. Eric was a bit unlucky. I think he got 3 times second, missing out by 3/4 tenths. So that shows how close it was and how close it is. And it's never easy to try to win from outside pole position.
Absolutely.
So I think for Eric and Mark it was difficult to start 4th and 5th, and some guys for sure were hoping for rain, maybe spectators as well, and that could have changed something. But in the end, it was a good Euros. It was also well organized.
Yeah.
So it was also great to have Bruno and Alex there, and basically we had a proper European Championship with most of the top European drivers there.
Absolutely, yeah. So finally back to ETS, round 3. Obviously it's raining, so we're going to have some kind of compacted schedule, maybe less qualifying, I'm not sure. But I guess it's more important than ever to get it right first time and to get yourself back in the running for the overall championship.
Yeah, at least we had 6 runs of practice in the dry. It was probably colder than what we will face tomorrow. And I think they can still manage to do all qualies tomorrow, maybe just a very short practice. Of course, if people came later, it would have not really benefit them.
Yeah.
But I think we will have track conditions in a decent warm condition, and then from then on it will be game on.
Yeah.
And it will be tight for sure. Or I hope we can have a really nice competitive race. But yesterday showed that things are quite close again, and like I said, we go half a lap faster than ever, and or half a second faster than average, and so that feels amazing, and hope we get tiny little advantage over the others, but we will see then.
Fantastic.
It looks like today. I mean, it looks like today we won't be really able to drive, because also the AstroTurf will keep the track a bit flooded, and the forecast is still not great for today. But
yeah,
we'll
cool.
see.